It was our first storm. We were on parachute anchor, so we knew a storm was coming. We rode into it as much as we could, and then we were like, well, we're not getting anywhere. We were literally just like spinning on the spot in these waves. So we were like, we have to put the anchor in. We both get out, get clipped onto the boat, because you got to stay clipped on, because if you get swept off, it's very, like, we're not going to be able to go and get them.
Yeah, right.
And there's these rolling waves of like 2 foot wave, but you get this thing called a rogue wave, which is, it can be like double or 2.5 times the size of the normal swell. And then all of a sudden, the next wave coming was like 2.5 times the size. It was about 12 foot. From the front, and we're both thinking the same thing, like, we're so fucked here.
Well, tell us about the first few days just before we get to the capsize. How were you feeling? Were you more excited? Were you personally, even if you didn't say it to the other boys, were you kind of like regretting what you'd done?
I think you guys will know this as well. When you're in like a stressful situation, something really bad happens in your life, or you're doing something difficult, you just go into this fight or flight mode where you're like, it's my responsibility to just get the job done now, and I can't worry about how I feel.
Yeah.
And so it was very much that kind of mindset. But don't get me wrong, like, as you row out of New York and you see New Jersey and Manhattan, and you're like, the bridge is disappearing and you're in like choppy conditions already, you're like, okay, like, this is so real now all of a sudden. But these guys said to me, the hardest part of an ocean row is the first 5 days. And so, because you're settling into it and you're like getting used to living on the water. Yeah. So in my head, I was thinking, okay, just get through the first 5 days, then it'll all get easier.
Yeah.
The problem was, I got through the first 5 days, and then I was like, we've got so long to go. I hadn't even considered that. I've got another month and a half.
You'd built up that first 5 days so much, not realising that it's just going to be another 5 days, then another 5 days. Right.
And by the end of it, I know you didn't ask about that, but like by the end of it, 5 days goes like that, and you're like, what's going on?
That's literally what I was then going to ask about time and the conception. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
The conception of time. Perception of time. Yeah. How did that feel? Did those first 5 days? Did they feel like 5 days?
The first 3 felt long,
right?
And then after that, it was just like you blink and like, obviously you're in pain and you don't want to row for 3 hours, and the 3 hours feels long. But then all of a sudden, it's weird. Your perception in the moment is like, this is taking a while, and then you'll be like, oh my god, we changed cabins 5 days ago. We've got to change cabins again. Like it all goes so quick.
What do you mean by changed cabins?
So we moved house every 5 days. So because there was the coffin cabin in the main cabin.
Right.
To make it fair, the people in the main cabin made all the food and did all the water and did the washing, and the ones in the coffin cabin would literally just lie there and eat in row.
Right.
So to make it fair, you just swapped.
That's the one you wanted, the coffin cabin, was it?
It depends what you want. You sleep better in there because you got more time. You don't have to do any jobs, but it is cramped.
Yeah. Do any of you snore?
Not too much. We got away with that.
Was that the least of your problems?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because also, you think, how am I going to? How do you sleep on a rowing boat? It's loud. It's loud when the waves are crashing. You're all over the place. You're just so exhausted that you have to like.
And you don't really get any privacy on there, do you?
No, I quickly get to know. There was lots of cocks and balls flying around the whole time.
Is it still loud at night as well? So like when you're trying to go to, well, I guess you're not always, are you always sleeping at night, or is it?
You try and sleep a bit in the days as well, but yeah, generally you sleep as much at night as possible.
Is it quite quiet at night, or is it just waves?
Depends on
constantly?
the conditions. Like if it's choppy, you get smacked in the side sometimes and you don't like sleep as well. But generally it's like a normal whoosh, so it's not so bad.
Right. I think that would help me sleep, like the
you sleep with sound on anyway, don't you?
Yeah, like rain noise and stuff like that.
But you feel it as well. It's a bit different. Imagine rain noise, but it's upon you.
I could do that. What was the seasickness like? That must have been an issue.
Yeah, grim for me at the start.
Were you throwing up a lot?
No, I didn't throw up, but you get that nauseous feeling where you're going to. I had a bit of experience like from diving and stuff of how to not be seasick.
Right.
So I was taking the tablets, and what I'd do is if I had to do anything in the cabin, I'd just shut my eyes while I did it. So I'd like because that helps. Because if seasickness comes from your eyes thinking that you're on solid ground and your like balance system in your ears doing that.
Yeah.
So if you shut your eyes, then it just thinks you're moving because it doesn't have a reference point.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like, if I needed to grab something, like shut my eyes, look at it, and then shut my eyes again.
Yeah.
That helped me get through it.
Did any of the guys throw up at any point?
They were all right because 2 of them Marines, so they had like good experience. So we got away quite lightly with that, which was a worry at the start for sure.
I bet.
You don't want to be that guy that's too sick to row and lets everyone down. Yeah,
that would be me. You've mentioned how hot it was in those cabins at times. When you're out and you're rowing and you're just like, the elements are there.
Yeah.
How was it? Super hot? Was it super cold? What?
Unfortunately, it was all of it. Like we had
was it?
30 touching 40 degrees Celsius days on some days. and like you don't have enough sun cream obviously on board for that, so we had to put like t-shirts over our legs and hats on. And if there was a bit of a breeze, it was all right. But if there was no breeze in the cabin, like within 5 minutes, you're just dripping with sweat and you can't escape it.
Right.
And then some nights we went over the wreck of the Titanic, which was pretty cool.
Did you?
Yeah. Like we were within like 2 miles of exactly where it was. I pinned it on my phone before.
Oh, wow.
And that around that area was like the coldest.
Right. Big iceberg, isn't it?
Yeah. Luckily, global warming and the time of year, we got away with the icebergs. But when my mum found out that there was like, we were on that route, she was like, no, you're going to die by iceberg. I was like, hopefully not. But I didn't really know. I just told her that it was fine, and it turned out it was.
Yeah. So were you...
was cold up there.
Were you having to like just wrap up blankets? Did you have all that?
We had like a thermal sleeping bag. So you might be shivering by the time you've done your 3 hours rowing, cause if it was raining and cold. But then you get in the thermal sleeping bag and you warm up quick. But the worst thing is, one of the worst things, you wake up at 2:30 for your shift, for example, in the middle of the night. You are like in this warm sleeping bag. You can hear these guys suffering outside. It's raining. The waves are crashing in constantly. And you've got to put in your salty, wet underwear and waterproof trousers and waterproof jacket that are cold and salty. And you have to get out your warm, dry sleeping bag, put them on, and like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's swap. And
knowing you got 3 hours to go. Yeah. I bet. So you have 3 hours on, 6 off. Is that
3 on, 3 off?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's 2 of you rowing.
Two of us. Yeah. So 2 rowing at all times, the 4 team members.
Were you always in the same pairs for rowing throughout the whole?
We did a bit staggered. So my cabin mate was Nutty, and we never rowed together. And Jack's cabin mate was Brucey, and they never rowed together. But we'd row with both the guys in the other cabin.
What was the thought process? Were they just 2 stronger rowers? Were they or?
They are both actually exceptional rowers, those 2. But it was mainly you keep your cabin partner, so you just get used to working with one person.
Yeah.
And you just want a fresh person on the oars every hour and a half, just to keep a fresh pair of eyes, fresh set of muscles, just to so you're not doing like 3 hours starting well and then stagnating.
Got you.
That's the reason you do the 3 hour shift, is because if you sleep much less than 2.5, you don't get a REM cycle, and then you're not getting good recovery for like, if you're 2 months, it's a long time.
Yeah.
And if you row for much more than 3, you just start to like row like.
Yeah, it sounds dumb because you're always going to do it this way, but there's a pure science to it, isn't there? That's why nothing's done by, you're not just picking 3 hours out of the air, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all planned meticulously.
Yeah.
Stevie and I, we recently spent 3 days, there's nothing on your scale, but 3 days just driving across Europe for a stupid video that we've done.
Is that out yet?
No, it's not out. And it was boring, just that. And we were playing all sorts of games and like this to try and get the time to go quicker. 56 days without no real internet.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It was tough because you do run out of stuff to talk about, and the Club World Cup was on,
right?
And so, as a bit of a Chelsea fan, I would I messaged my mate just after the internet went off. I was like, I forgot to ask what happened in the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So it takes 24 hours for me to send that message. He didn't reply while I was on the internet, so then it took another 24 hours for him to reply, and then we didn't turn it on the day after that. So to get a message like who won the Club World Cup took us 4 days. So you really are limited.
At least you won.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you able to talk much whilst you're rowing, or are you very much just in the zone of?
Yeah, it's not it's not intense cardio. It's like walking basically in terms of the cardio.
Yeah.
So you're able to talk, and we play the categories game, so name the most random like things you'd find in a supermarket or countries in Africa.
Yeah.
And then either you just get sick of each other or sick of the game and stop or whatever.
Yeah.
But
would there be lots of moments of silence on there? Would there?
yeah, and sometimes it's weird. You'd have a conversation because you're rowing with someone for each one for an hour and a half. You'd have a conversation for maybe 20 minutes. Then it would just die, the conversation.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, the geezer would just pick it up again. Or like maybe 40 minutes later, they'd pick it up again and just talk again. So sometimes it's really weird. You're just comfortable in silence and then you talk again.
Yeah. Do you have a particular conversation or a particular moment you remember that stands out as like a unusual time? Not unusual, but...
I think it's the same as when you have like a sofa conversation and there's no phones in the room and you just like, some things are super philosophical. You have a lot of time to talk about, for myself, what I learned, how you want your life to look. So when your daily routine's just stripped away entirely, you think, what do I actually want from life? You realize that, money's just a lever to get a good day-to-day experience, right? Like that's all it's worth. Otherwise it's just extra stress, which might not be what you want in your life. So you're thinking about, how do I want to spend my mornings? How important loved ones are. those types of things.
Right.
And it allows you to like really decompress, because we're constantly. I've also not scrolled a single reel since coming back, which I'm very proud of.
Have you not?
5 days, yeah. And I'm going to plan to never not touch short form content.
Really?
Yeah, see how long I can go for.
For what reason? Just to get your attention span back?
Yeah, because I constantly feel like, especially during the row, you have so much time when you've got nothing coming into your brain and you just have time to process and produce. When you're constantly scrolling, like even when I was waiting before this podcast, like it wasn't on my phone. I'm not, unless I'm responding to something specific, I'll try and just like lower that dopamine as much as possible.
So what were you doing down there when I was waiting?
Just looking at one of the lobby books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do you think that this row had a massive benefit on those parts of your brain and stuff?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, it's such short term, but it definitely had a benefit in the way I view life and day to day, because we all feel so like, even though none of us are in a rat race because we're all working for ourselves, like, you do have this element of, I need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. And like, are you actually enjoying yourself? In a year's time, will you be happy with the way the year went or not?
Right.
Like,
yeah. So day 9, that was when you capsized.
Yeah.
We briefly touched on. Well, how did it happen and what happened?
So it was our first storm. We were on parachute anchor. I was one of the 3 in the cabin with legs hashed over each other.
Right.
And
Is this at night time?
Overnight, yes.
Yeah.
We put the anchor in at like 11 p.m. or something and then tried to sleep through the night. I tried to be in the key word there because it was so hot. We were in the Gulf Stream.
Yeah.
And
so it's even hot at night time, is
hot
it?
at night, yeah. And because you can't open the cabin door for fresh oxygen because the waves coming in. So like if you do, you open it quickly and then shut it again. So you can't just have any vents.
What, there's water on the boat, is there?
No, but like a big wave would just cut, like if you have the door open and a big wave could just come in.
Oh, okay.
So
Did you know the storm was coming? Like, but what's happening just before you're having to put the parachute anchor?
Yeah, we have a weather router on. The owner of the boat was our weather router, so he was on land saying, this day you got this weather coming, then you got this weather coming, then you got this weather coming, so we can preempt what was going to happen.
Right.
And so we knew a storm was coming. We rode into it as much as we could, and then we were like, well, we're not getting anywhere. We were literally just like spinning on the spot in these waves. So we were like, we have to put the anchor in.
Yeah.
Put the anchor in at 11. And this would genuinely be considered by United Nations as torture because it was just such unacceptable conditions. It was so hot. We were like crossing over each other in like stress positions. None of us could move. I probably slept like 1 hour out of 6 of trying to sleep. And I was just in my underwear and as soon as day broke at like 5, 6 a.m., I was like, I just need to get out and cool down. And Jack did the same. He then put his waterproof gear on for whatever reason. He wasn't as hot as me. We both get out, get clipped onto the boat because you got to stay clipped on because if you get swept off, it's we're not going to be able to go and get them.
Yeah, right.
So we're both clipped on. I'm in my underwear. He's in his waterproof, full waterproof gear. He goes and checks on the parachute anchor, make sure it's still holding us, testing the line and stuff. And I'm looking at the deck, seeing if anything's gone missing. And we're out there for maybe a couple of minutes. He's like, yeah, that sound. I'm like, yeah, that sound. And there's these 2 safety lines, one on each side of the boat that you can like hold on to for stability. I'm facing him, he's facing me, and there's these rolling waves of like 2-foot waves. So like, yeah, they'd crash a little bit, but generally the deck's staying dry and everything's fine. But you get this thing called a rogue wave, it can be like double or 2.5 times the size of the normal swell. And it was a really surreal moment. It's so vivid in my mind still. I'm kind of looking at him, and then I look left at the swell because you could sense something was about to change.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the next wave coming was like 2.5 times the size. It was about 12 foot from the front. And you also get a sense of when a wave's going to break, like when the white foamy stuff's going to like come on, like just that full energy is going to turn turbulent and then like obviously crash wherever it crashes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it. Obviously, it feels like an eternity, but it must have only been like a matter of a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's definitely going to break on us. Looking at him, like, it can't be, can it? And we're both thinking the same thing. Like, we're so fucked here. Like, but you just don't believe it. You're like, it looks so big and ominous.
Yeah.
You're like, surely not. But sure enough, it breaks, and like the sheer white water just whips us both off the boat while we're holding on. So we like get flipped upside down, and the boat flips on top of us, and then the boat does a 360. We do a 360, and I've done a bit.
How's the boat done a 360 then?
So the boat's like the wave's coming from this way.
Yeah.
Wave crashes onto us, and we like topple over that way, and the boat flips like that. We're under it in the water, and then the boat it's a self-righting boat because it's bottom heavy.
Oh, that's what I was going to. Yeah, I couldn't work out why the boat would just do that, but it's built like that.
Yeah,
Right.
so it gets flipped, and
Yeah.
then because it's self-righting, instead of flipping back the other way just because of the wave, it gets flipped and then does a full rotation.
Oh wow!
And we're like underneath it, grabbing on.
Are the other two
You're in the
just
water.
Yeah, in the water.
Are the
yeah.
other two just in bed still?
Yeah, so they're in the cabins. Yeah.
I have no idea what's.
Well, no, so they were like so confused.
Yeah.
Especially because we still had. I told you we had so much food on the boat. There were bags flying everywhere. We went upside down and then like zero gravity and then back again. He was like, "What was that?"
You know, it'd be like that scene from Matilda.
Yeah.
That's so funny that they had no idea that that had happened.
Yeah. Are you hitting yourself then when you're in the water?
So it was quite quick. It was probably 5 seconds in the water, something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've surfed before or anything, where you just have to like hold your breath, stay calm, and wait.
Right.
Don't try and do anything. Just try and stay calm. As soon as it settles, you kind of come up for air.
Why do you need to wait? Sorry.
Well, if you try, like if you say as you're flipping, you don't know which way's up, which way's down, or if it's any good, like trying to get anywhere. You kind of wait for that wave to pass. So
right.
Just like calm yourself down, don't stress.
Yeah.
Wait a couple of seconds and then try and surface.
Right.
Wait for the boat to settle. So we did that. I looked at Jack, and he's obviously in his full waterproof, so it's now like fully wet inside his waterproof, which I found quite funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Not ideal.
And you're in your pants.
I'm in my pants. Yeah. So I was so grateful to be cold again. It was so hot.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
And then, so we both get on the boat, like, you're right, mate. Yeah, all good. Frazzled, but it was a really nice combination of like exciting and dangerous. We were like, now this is cool.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of minutes passing, you're like, okay, that's actually terrifying. We still have 2,500 miles to go. Some stuff's broken in the boat. One of the lads banged his head, and we didn't think that was going to happen. Like, when we're in a storm, like, yeah, it was a bit funny, but like, it's actually quite a serious situation.